So here's the first screenshot with the person and cliffs, which I made in the beginning just to get us started on this. And then from cliffs it becomes a building. Pops up out of nowhere. But no, this took a very long time to make the first building, because this was the main, and you see this was just a building idea, and then I built up on it slowly. But this was the very much base of it. And then we have another cliff, and guess what? Another building. And then obviously you can see some weird artifacts and stuff, but it becomes better as more screenshots come through. So in the third I built a bridge, and I thought, why not, you know? Bridge, that would make the scene look nicer. So this very much was the very base of the bridge, and then I added the third cliff along with some rings around the other cliffs just to add that extra detail. So I added the third building, still following the same idea process, and then in here it's more depth. I add more details to the building. You might not notice, but there are more details. So here's the one before, and here's the one after. And obviously the lighting changes, it becomes more yellowish. And also I add fogs, forgot to mention that, just to add that depth. So here's the next screenshot, I forgot which number we're on, and then here's the fourth image. I added more bridges, but they're like more of a wooden bridge, and I added more rings, and I also, the middle bridge, I also added a little more detail too. And then many hours later we have this, a lot of fog, more finish to the building, different lighting, more dynamic lighting, and we end up with a better result. So for the final result, I fixed up the buildings even more, and then fixed the bridges even more. But you can probably still see some artifacts, because you know they're not noticeable when the scene moves on. That this scene's a constant finding. It's a constant finding of shapes and ideas and, you know, silhouettes and what goes and what's right and what's wrong in the scene. So I kind of wish I took a screenshot like every 5 minutes, because there's a lot of changing in the scene. There's a lot of moving around things and seeing what I like. So that's part of why it took a very long time. Alright, so I took this character from Epic Games. They provide characters, you know, for people who, you know, want to test out the character in their game. So this is not my character. I'm not good at making characters yet. I'm trying to get there though. But I used this character from Epic Games to test out my game, you know, saying, is it workable, you know, does it fit? And it kind of does fit, you know what I mean? So again, this is not a good game, part of it, because there's a lot of mistakes and a lot of problems with it. As you see here, it looks like I'm floating. I'm not touching the ground whatsoever. So yeah, I move around and then place my characters. As you see in here, it's not that bad. Skill-wise, it's alright. Keep in mind that scale is it's a little hard for me to have in scale, so sometimes scales is off scale. So yeah, I could make this into a game if I spent more hours into it. I'm not that good at coding, but I can probably make it functional a little bit. But that's you know, aside from making it character do things, you know, like a, you know, combat, whatever. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but I didn't make that. That was provided by Epic Games. Thank you, Epic Games. And then last place to put our character in is this place. Grass too big, as you see. The bridge is not that bad. It's kind of up to scale. So I mean, yeah, you can walk in it. The second instrument I started with was the Cicada Strings, which sounds like this. And that goes for the whole composition. It doesn't change very much until the ending, where it just takes the upper melody and makes it into a higher octave. The most instrument you can hear in this composition is the French oboe.
Oboe, oboe.
And then we have sustained strings along with brass in the back to complement the main melody. So the French oboe was also mostly complemented by the clarinet. Clarinet is basically a duplicate of the French OB
Oboe.
melody and changed around. It was generally building on a basic idea and then turning into a more unique idea. I didn't want to go too epic with the soundtrack or too low energy, so I kept in the middle. So in conclusion, I had a lot of fun making this, and it made me go different ways of usually making scenes, and I look forward to making even more bigger environments. And that's the whole goal of this year, is to expand on environments and make it, make it bigger and bigger until eventually becomes an open game. And I hope you learned something from this, and if you did, I'm glad so, and if not, that's okay. And yeah, thank you for watching.